I just wanted to say that I'm a nerd. And I'm here tonight to stand up for the rights of other nerds.
You, Jeff.
No.
He's looking right at you when he said nerd.
There's no way. Nerd.
You were hanging out at Disneyland doing Star Wars nerd stuff.
Yes, I was.
I'm a Star Wars nerd too. I get it. It's all right.
Yeah, my kid was doing the Jedi skills stuff. Jedi skills. He was a stud yesterday. He didn't want to fight Darth Vader.
He's a Sith guy, right?
He is. He's really sad.
All right, we're nerding out, but
Yes,
we're gonna soar like eagles today, Jeff. Are you ready for this?
I am ready. This is my favorite team at the end of the season last year. They got better and better as the year went on.
They were so fun to watch and cover. We got the Valley View Eagles in the house, CIF champions, state finalists. We're going to talk to the Eagles about the upcoming season, coming off the heels of that fantastic year. Division 11 title, 5AA state finalists. So it was a fantastic year for Coach Bartlett and his guys. We got them in studio the whole first segment, all Valley View, just for you, Jeff.
Nice.
In our second segment, we're going to break it down with the UCR broadcasters. These guys are broadcasting gold, man. John Remy and Ghizal Hasan.
The best in the business.
Basketball, baseball, we're going to break it down with them to broadcasting greats. And then our final segment, a little live update from the Little League West Regional in San Bernardino. So we're going to have a live update from there.
Great venue.
And also an exclusive interview with Shareece Wright.
Nice.
Pride of Colton High School, Buffalo Bills defensive back. So we got a big show.
Very big.
And you know the drill, Jeff. It's all brought to you by our good friends over there at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You will be spoiled by their great customer service. Low prices. They're the best. They give you a flour. They give you a mint on the way out. You can't beat that. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire. Saw them on social media. They got all these new helmets and stuff. I was begging if I could be a helmet model.
I would be a cup model. I wear my cup all the time. I get it from Ken's.
Go to kensportinggoods.com. Phantom House Studio. Nobody has better sports edits. So if you want those cool graphics where they put all your stats and your name and all that kind of stuff, Phantom House Studio is where to go. And Boost Performance Training. Athletes of all levels hanging out with Coach Ray Bass, who's actually in Hawaii training some high school football teams on the Big Island for Boost Training.
They are international.
They are. So we love Ray Bass. Go to boosttrainingsystems.com, athletes of all levels. But like I said, we got the Valley View Eagles in the house, our whole first segment dedicated to Valley View football here. As we said, CIF champions from a season ago, all the way to the state finals. Let me start with the head coach, Dan Bartlett, here on the end. And Coach, first off, thank you for joining us here in studio here on the Inland Sports Show. How much do you reflect back on last year, or is this like a clean canvas going into a new football season?
Well, every year in high school, it feels like a clean canvas, but what you're trying to do is establish certain principles so that you can establish a program and you don't have different teams every year.
But you got a lot of the returning guys. I remember last year, I think we talked, and you said, that was a great group last year, but a lot of the key players were still underclassmen. You still had them coming back for another season or two. Are you excited about this group that you have going into 2017?
I'm absolutely excited about this group. I believe we have 6 returning all-CIF players. Our leading rusher, and Justin Keeling, who was a 2,000-yard tailback, our leading receiver, and Robert Hireman, who's a 1,500-yard receiver, 89 catch guy. Jacob Bartlett, our quarterback, who's a 2,400-yard passer with 19 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And then Rudy Lovato, our big fullback, middle linebacker, returns. He had 700 yards and 20 touchdowns last year. And big Theo Bullard, who's going to anchor our offensive line this year. I have those 4 guys in studio, and we're going to try to bring Rob down here, but he's in Colorado at Air Force camp this weekend.
Oh, good for him. So I see you guys brought the bling. I was going to say, what do you guys do with your CIF championship rings? But you're wearing them today. I'll start with Jacob here on the end. You got him over in the corner. Those are pretty nice CIF championship rings.
Oh, yeah. They are amazing.
Do you wear them to school or around town? Like, this old thing? Like,
of course. You have to do that.
Theo's like, yeah. So do you like going to the movies or whatever?
Yeah, I do. I will take this everywhere. Whenever I can, I'll take it. This is my everyday to go.
Every day, right?
Yep.
Do you wear it to school?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have to wear it to school. Like, after all the people at school, like, oh, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. I just show it off.
Like Tom Brady style, right? Maybe get another one for another finger this season. Jacob, what's it like playing for your dad? Is it a cool thing? Like, do you guys go home, sit around the dinner table, you're scooping into some lasagna, and he's like, hey, this is the kind of offense we're going to do. This is our scheme for the next week.
Well, he mainly keeps football at school. So then we get home, and we'll talk about it for a little bit, but then we'll just be a family.
So you try to keep the football at football? Yeah, because that's a little much when you go home and it's still X's and O's and breaking that all down.
Yes, it is.
Coach, do you consciously try to do that as a parent? I know your wife's into coaching too, and you could probably do 24/7 of just thinking about coaching.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and you can hear the hesitance in his voice because he's afraid to say, my father's absolutely insane. I have no idea how I deal with him from time to time. I can't believe I've got to do it on the practice field and come home, and then he's telling me about taking out the garbage in the exact same voice he just used 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, but there are conversations at the house can you please pick up all your rings?
Yeah.
Because everybody in the family has rings. So, his wife's got national championship rings, the CIF championship. Just pick up your rings, boys and girls, and put them away. That's the chores in their house.
Right? That's the cleaning. Coach, what do you do with all the hardware? I mean, do you have like I don't want to say a shrine, but you know what I mean? Like you have a room where you put all the stuff like maybe on a mantle, all the championships and rings and trophies, anything you might have.
We hang some of our stuff up, but most of our stuff just sits in a drawer. I mean, my wife's, her 2 Hall of Fame rings, her 2 national championship rings, her all CIF ring. I mean, those all sit in a drawer, and anytime I try to bring it up that I have 2, one from RCC when we went undefeated, she sort of snickers at me and points and laughs.
That's nice, Coach Bartlett.
That's small change. Small change, honey. Small change.
That's all great. Let me go to Rudy Lovato over here. Rudy, big bruising. Are you a running back, fullback? I mean, what do you call yourself?
Well, I don't know. See,
offensively,
I'm like a lineman that kind of gets the ball. Like hitting people in the mouth. That's kind of my go-to move. Knocking head back and whatnot.
What do you remember from last season? Let's go back first to the San Gorgonio game. You guys played them in the state regional to advance to the state championship because you guys were. Because a lot of teams feel like if you win CIF, that's the mission. But if you make it to the state playoffs, it's kind of like icing on the cake. I mean, how did you guys approach the state playoffs last year?
Going into the state playoffs, it was kind of like, well, shoot, we already reached our goal, and after that, we had our goal and it was done and whatnot. But after that, it was kind of like a rebirth and whatnot. Like, we never expected to get this, or we did expect to get this far, but it's kind of like, how do you say it,
You continue the season,
exactly. It's like an add-on extension at the end.
You got your CIF ring. You guys win the championship, and it's like, we're still playing.
Exactly.
There's only a handful of teams in the whole state of California that are still playing at that point. Justin, let me ask you. So it's almost Christmas time, and you guys are still playing high school football. What kind of feeling was that, knowing your season was that long? I mean, what was it, Coach? 16 games? 15, 16? So, Justin, what was it like playing deep into December?
Well, basically, it was tiring. It was tiring for most of us. I mean, most of the team was tired. But as Coach always wants us to do, he wants us to get better. So when we was playing in that type of feeling, he wants us to still perform and do well as we normally do.
Let me go back to Coach over here, because this is a question we ask Matt Logan, because he definitely plays deep into December quite a bit at Centennial High School. But he complains that he doesn't have time to put up the Christmas lights or do Christmas shopping, like all those things, because he's still in football mode for so long. Did you run into that last year, Coach?
I absolutely ran into that, and it really screwed me up for this semester. I mean,
did it really?
Yeah, I
Put
felt
you
like
back?
I was behind. I feel like I'm still behind playing so late. I'll do it again. I remember how exhausted I was, but going back to that feeling as we're going into this season, I'll do it again if I have to.
If you have to, yeah. If you have to go all the way back to the state championship game. Once again, they won the Division 11 CIF Southern Section title, went to the state regional, beat San Gorgonio 31-14, then ran into a really good Bishop O'Dowd team in the state championship game in 5AA. 43-24 was the final score. Coach, I feel like you always kept that Bishop O'Dowd team close enough that we all thought, you know what, a play here or there, this Valley View's back in this. Did you feel the same way that pretty much for the entirety of that game, at least for the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, I felt like if we could just keep it close and make it a dirty enough and a physical enough game that we'd have a chance. And we talk about it all the time, is all we want to do is create an opportunity for ourselves to be successful. And if you can stay close, you have that opportunity. And their outside linebacker made a hell of a play when he picked that ball.
Yes.
He put his foot in the ground and jumped up, and Jay came over the boundary. I'm like, did you see him? He goes, yes. I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I tried to throw it over him. The kid snatched it and took off, and it kind of put us out of distance. But until then, I was proud of the way we fought and we competed. I mean, they were an extremely talented team. I believe they were a Division III team from up north.
Yeah.
They had 2 Pac-12 defensive backs. I think they have 2 more this year. Their tailback's been offered by Utah already. They had the best left tackle in the state of California. And we had a chance. I mean, we had a chance to be successful. And you can't feel bad about that. Although you do.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were so close. Such a great run. Now you move up to Division 10 for the CIF Southern Section playoffs this year. Does the mindset or mentality change a little bit based on how you guys did last year? Does it feel different going into the season based on your success?
It just feels different in the way is that you want to continue to grow the program and be better every year. As far as everything else, we're still trying to do the same things. We're still trying to be mentally and physically tough. We're still trying to be responsible and accountable. All the same things we did a year ago. But there is another level to what we're trying to do as we grow our program and get better. And sometimes I get ahead of myself a little bit because I expect everybody suddenly to be different.
Yeah.
And we're not. And I've just got to understand that we're still kids. We're still trying to learn. But we do have a better starting point. And what I've talked to these guys, specifically the seniors, about, this year's about us establishing ourselves as a program or a team that had a good year.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, because you don't want to be one of those one-hit wonders, right? And you're like, oh, I think Valley View had a good season a couple years ago. If you do it consistently, people talk about you.
Yeah, and you got a tough preseason schedule this year, and against teams that you've seen in the past, and you're gonna have that bullseye on your shoulder or on your back there. Hopefully, you guys can turn it around and get another championship this year. It'd be great.
Yeah, it's not going to be as tough as next year, though, because we've already got Centennial scheduled in 2018. So,
do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's some breaking news here.
Yeah. But if you want to be successful, that's the direction you want to move.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are a lot of people that want to be that team, but they'll never take the steps to do it, or they'll try to keep themselves in a safe environment. I'm probably out of my mind a little bit, but I always think I can compete with everybody.
Why not?
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I always want our guys to be able to compete with anybody.
Yeah, and with that new competitive equity in the CIF, it really will help you playing those big juggernauts.
Yeah, it's almost better to play like really good teams and lose as opposed to playing a team that you should beat.
Exactly.
It's not valued as much, I guess, in these new calculations that the CIF uses for the playoff format.
Well, in all honesty, I have no idea how they do any of it, because we were in Division 11, then we played Division 7 in the regional final, and then we played in Northern Division 3. So how they came up with that formula, I have no idea.
Yeah, people ask us, and I'm like, I really don't know. We're gonna wait and see when when they post where you're gonna play, like everybody else.
It's the old BCS computer.
Oh, like somewhere. Yeah, there's some master computer in Los Alamitos, and they're all hunkering around, punching in numbers, and that's how they come out with it. We got the Valley View Eagles football team here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350, plus live and amplified around the world right now on the Inland Sports channel. So go ahead and wave to the camera, guys. Everyone can see you right now. Let me go back to Theo, because, guys, we all know the game's won up front, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against my skill guys over here, but the guys up front.
It all happens up front.
It does. So just talk about, obviously, if this guy has a clean jersey at the end of the game, your boy Jacob over here, then you're doing a good job, right?
Yeah, that's our goal. Our linemen, we go in, no sacks, no just keep pushing. Like we can't stop. We stop, it's on us. One mistake leads to another.
Yeah, it could snowball, right? It could snowball on you fast.
Yeah, big time.
Jacob, let me ask you, how important is that relationship with Theo and the rest of the guys on the line? Because obviously you got to be on the same page.
Yeah. I mean, it's very important. I mean, anytime they ask for a ride, I'm always trying to take them. Anytime they ask for food, here you go, man.
You got to feed these guys?
Oh, yeah.
You got to feed Theo?
Hey, I don't know how I do it sometimes, but I do it. And they repay me in a clean jersey.
Yeah.
No injuries yet. I've barely been sacked in 2 years, so.
That's a good leader right there, building that, rapport and relationship with your linemen. But let's be real. How much does Theo eat? Come on, we're just friends here. You can be honest.
He can eat a lot.
Let's say, what do you say, Del Taco?
$200.
$200.
Yeah.
Now, is that your money or coach's money over here?
How many chicken nuggets did you guys get that one day?
We got 300. Picture that.
All right, so that's that Friday after that we went.
After homecoming.
After homecoming game.
You guys went to go get 100.
We went to McDonald's and grabbed 350 chicken nuggets.
So you guys got 350, but the day after I went back and we got 200.
Wait, hold on, Theo. Slow your roll just for a second. So how do you walk into McDonald's and say, I need 350 chicken McNuggets? Do they even have that anymore?
Yeah. It was like literally stacked on trays.
Everyone's looking at you like,
their face is like, it's priceless. They're like,
If you do that again, will you do me a favor? Will you take a picture of it and send it to Inland Sports on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff? 'Cause I'd love to see that.
Yeah, big time.
Got to feed the liven, right?
The day after when we went in, they were like, the lady that was off of her business or off of, like, she wasn't working. It was her lunch break. She was like, "Hey, y'all better get the chicken nuggets ready." And we're like,
Is that your guilty pleasure? Like, if you're like, let's say you're starving after a game and you're like, I'm going to eat whatever I want because I'm a lineman. I'm not worried about, putting on a couple extra pounds.
It's
Chicken McNuggets. Barbecue sauce?
Sweet and sour sauce.
Oh, okay. All right. You threw me a curveball. I didn't see that coming. Okay. Rudy's over here laughing, but I feel like he's part of it too, right? Yeah.
Rudy, I think you can put away a few nuggets yourself. Come on.
Hey, he's about 30 pounds off me.
Like 70 pounds. Still.
Coach over here is thinking like, you could probably put Rudy on the line, right?
Rudy doesn't have a stance.
Oh, he did.
No.
We got the Valley View Eagles here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350. Justin, 2,000-yard rusher, you said, right, Coach? So obviously the ground game is so important between you and Hireman on the outside at receiver. Got a great quarterback over here in Jacob. Do you feel like offensively you guys can hang with pretty much any team that you're going to go up against this season?
Well, basically, if we put up the tempo and we punch people straight in the mouth and actually work and how we do our assignments when we do them and actually look at every little thing, because every little thing is important, we could do anything we want.
I know it's cliche, but they always say, do your job. You just go out there, just do your job, trust the guy next to you, just do your job. But, Justin, does it really just boil down to that, right? Like, trusting the guy next to you, like, you do yours, I'll do mine, we're going to be okay.
Well, if you talk to your players and you make sure, not everything has to go a certain way, but if you talk to them and you make sure the thing that has to be done is done, then it all works out at the end.
Who's the guy out there, always yelling out the orders? Who's the guy on the field, Jacob, because he's the quarterback. What about on defense?
That's me.
That's Rudy?
Defense, yeah.
I can hear Rudy breathing from the sideline.
Yeah. Sucking wind. Is he usually sucking wind and trying to get some words out as he's trying to catch his breath?
I'm just, the only thing that gets out of my mouth is either screaming the call or breathing. Still working.
Guys, before we let you go, you open up the season at Corona. Obviously, we were talking about the Ron Garinger matchup again because he was at San G. That was their last game over there when they played in the state regional. But Coach, what are you hoping to see this team improve on as we get ready to head into camp with helmets and pads? Where are you hoping to see this team improve on as you get ready for that first game in week 0 against Corona?
One of the things that we always talk about is just playing faster. We want to make sure we play with good technique and we play faster. And as we're talking to them, I'm not a big concept, or we're a big concept team where I don't want them to be X's and O's. I want them to understand what they're looking at and why they're looking at it and what the situations are. And then having the ability to process that and play at a fast, high-paced tempo. And I say it all the time, I want them to play like their hair's on fire. And just be excited about what they're doing and fly around and be excited about being Valley View Eagles and being successful.
Coach already burned his hair off with his hair on fire? Is that what Justin's like? Well, guys, we appreciate you stopping in.
Thanks for having us.
We're excited to see another, hopefully, championship run out of you guys at Valley View. And I love the rings.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Did you guys all have them on? Coach has his on, too. You know what? Let's get one more picture as we go to the commercial break. Let's get Jeff's like, wedding ring doesn't count, Jeff. But let's get a picture of you guys all holding out your rings. What's that?
Don't tell his wife.
Yeah, that's your championship right there, Jeff. You won. You won, Jeff. The Valley View Eagles here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE. When we come back, broadcasting gold with John Remy and Ghizal Hasan from UCR. We'll be right back on the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I say that's my passion because I've done it. I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and help them reach their athletic potential, help them, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, in terms of speed, power, strength, agility.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
UI.
Yes, you can. If the police have a valid reason to be there, you might still end up in handcuffs, which is why you better remember 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Any last thoughts?
Call us at 1-800-NO-CUFFS, because no one looks good in handcuffs unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you'd like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? I tell you what, bring your pretty little self over to my apartment tonight, and I'll show you a real man.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. I'm putting McDonald's on alert. Valley View just left. I don't know which one they're going to, but they're going to hit it up. They're going to hit it up big.
Drop those nuggets in the oil. They're coming.
Oh, my God. Between 200 and 350. I don't know what that looks like.
Oh, that looks like a typical lunch for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show. Valley View football was great. I think they're going to have another great season. Again, a lot of their key players from last year when they made that great run at the state finals are coming back. They were young last year, so they're going to have another great season. That's a good reminder. Every Friday night, 11 o'clock on IEMG TV, we have Sports Weekly Live, the only high school football show in the Inland Empire. Scores, highlights, live interviews. It's going to be great. Our first Friday night is week 0, August 25th. So go ahead and mark your calendars. IEMG. Make sure you hit them up on the IEMG, that's IE Media Group YouTube channel as well. And we also have Sports Weekly with them. If you check them out this week, we have Aquinas versus Redlands.
The big Germans?
The big Germans, dude. They're so good.
Josh
Gustav and Sayu Cisse. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, I can't say that.
They're going to be tough. So look for Aquinas this year, and you can check out some of those highlights, Aquinas versus Redlands, on the next Sports Weekly every Tuesday night on IEMG. But right now, we got some guys that are going to bring up the show. We've been holding it down, Jeff. We got some real broadcasters.
The Golden Throats are in the building.
Here they are, the voices of basketball and baseball, respectively. The great John Remy and Ghizal Hasan here on the show. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Howdy. Was that the Clubber Lang intro before the segment?
It was
from
pretty close.
From Rocky 3. We'll have to discuss it at a later time. Rocky 3 is the best Rocky movie. I've done academic work in that regard, just to let you guys all know.
You've done lots of studies and research.
Just my study.
I will say this. Did you guys see this? That Creed Part 2 is going to have... It's going to have
Drago's son. Right?
Ivan Drago's son.
No.
Yes.
Is that real?
It's real.
Sounds like you're making it up.
No, and Dolph Lundgren is going to be in the show as well.
I tell you, nepotism is just out of control.
It's who you know, right? You got a son?
Yeah.
Wait, that's a great entree into what Ramey's doing right now. Of course, not only is he the voice
That's
of
right.
UC Riverside basketball, but
No, I will say, I'm doing some extra acting work. I do live in Los Angeles, but we cannot talk about any specific hypothetical programs I may or may not have been on, because hypothetically I may or may not have had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and so hypothetically,
damn contract.
hypothetically, I wouldn't want to be in any hot water. But I have done a little bit of acting, and having lived in Southern California for more than 17 years, it was certainly time to get in the movies and be on TV. Right?
So hypothetically, if I was watching TV, I might see you on a show or a commercial or something like that. Hypothetically,
although I've only shot in the last 2 months, and it's only been 3 projects.
Well,
so
that's
I think
3 more than most.
We've lost him. He's saying project.
Yeah.
We've lost him.
And I only talk about film and cinema now. I don't say movie.
all we need is to hear him call Robert De Niro Bobby. And then we're done.
My boy Bobby.
Bob. Yeah.
Actually, I messed with it. I was doing there was a certain criminal recreation scene in which I played a detective that kind of looked like you. And I was like, I'm the wrong... Yeah. But, Jeff and I look somewhat similar. Being that this is radio, we can share. Well, So, at one point, the director is messing with me. Again, I'm not a trained actor at all. Just a media professional. And there are 2... little girls in the scene, and
hypothetically, of course,
and I'm giving them a teddy bear because we're recreating. I guess their mom was missing or something. I don't know. And at one point, I said to the director, who was a good guy and going along with it, but we're not making Gone with the Wind here, right? I turned to him and I said,
you don't say that. Well, every director is always making Gone with the Wind.
Well, so to appeal to that, I said, I watched Sunset Boulevard last night to get ready for this.
That was your homework, right?
And he was like, "That's a great film." It was
Gloria Swanson.
It was great.
Madame found the razor.
Off season. It's off season. You gotta.
So in the off season,
diversify.
Do you still look ahead?
Yes.
I don't know, look at schedules, reflect back on the year that was, and
yes,
build up some information, some knowledge that you can have going into a new season.
Yes.
I mean, outside hypothetically,
human breath.
Yeah, outside of the hypothetical, commercials and things that you may be doing.
It is not a hypothetical that Dikembe Martin is going to be a Highlander.
Yeah.
For 3 more years. So that's exciting, and I know that that's the focus of what we think about when we think about 2017 through 2018.
Now, he's a guy that's, obviously the poster child of a great JW North program, went to his own backyard at UC Riverside. How fun was it seeing him really blossom as a freshman? And I'm only excited to see what's on the horizon for this guy.
He's great, and there's poetry to his game, and Gorham gets super stoked when I talk about him, so I'm just teeing you up.
Poetry in motion.
Yeah.
That was the catchphrase that Remy used on poetry in motion.
And I was thinking about Dikembe actually coming in to do this today, and I wanted to ask you specifically, we know he can shoot, we know he can create, we know he has vision, and he's got that poetic movement to his game. To me, I was thinking the next thing the next step for him would be on-ball defense, right?
Yeah, on-ball defense, and he's got to just realize that he can score at this level. A lot of times I think he passed up a lot of shots, wasn't aggressive going to the basket. It's a whole different level going from high school basketball to Division I basketball, but he's a smart enough kid and a good enough player that he's going to work on those things and get better at all his facets.
That just happened. I was talking defense to a coach, and he brought up taking more shots. I think it's the first time in the history of the sport.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let me ask you this, because we're all friends here. How did Jeff Gorham over here do on the UCR broadcast? You can be honest. We're all friends here. Circle of trust, all that.
Saved the season.
Whoa!
I haven't saved the season ever.
Saved the season.
I've given away a lot of seasons.
If you haven't listened, you're. This is not. I don't want this to sound like a backhanded compliment, but better broadcaster than a coach, I think.
I hope so.
But no, it's a very. You ever listen, Pep?
Yeah,
it's
of
a
course.
very Carson McMahon kind of a thing. You know, you guys, it's gaps. You know, like Rocky talks about gaps. You know, him and Adrian, you guys fill each other's gaps.
We do.
Well, Jeff is not only super knowledgeable and knows everybody, but he's got some comedic relief, I guess, for the broadcast as well, right?
Indeed. No, again, it was a 7-win team. Saved the season for me.
Yeah.
You know, there were a lot of things that we could see were going to get better in the immediate future with the program, but the fact of the matter was it was a team that did a lot of learning and learned a lot of hard lessons. And it's a lot easier to communicate that when you have another person there to share in the experience and, two sets of eyes.
Yeah.
It's easier to find. It's easier to, unearth the positivity.
You know what you learn when you go to a basketball game with Jeff Gorham?
Oh, I'm afraid to ask. Okay.
Dude knows everybody.
Yeah.
So he came to UCLA and he said, yeah, I used to pal around with Tracy Murray. We played together, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, whatever, he's on the circuit. Jeff comes into Poly Pavilion and Tracy Murray, who scored like 20,000 points in the NBA, wraps him up in a huge bear hug. I'm like, okay, this guy's legitimate.
He's got new stories every week. You saw that?
That's where I met Jeff, I think.
That's right. Exactly. First time we met was at UCLA. He's the voice of UCLA. John Remy is the voice of UCLA. He does baseball. He does pregame and postgame football. He is in UCLA.
And you got those ties with Tracy Murray.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. Come on, he gave you a bear hug.
Yeah, we're pals. He's been on the show a few times.
See, Gorham breaks out stories and he thinks they're no big deal. He's like, oh yeah, Sean Bradley was my roommate in college. Sean Bradley.
We shared a room. It was like 7 feet by 7 feet. And
he was the short guy in that relationship.
Yeah, Jeff was the short guy. And then you played pickup with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson.
I have, but see, those things, I don't like to toot my own horn because...
But you got to bring them up.
I've hung out with Michael Jordan before.
Was that at Poly?
Santa Barbara?
That was at Poly, and then when he had his babasketball camp at UC Santa Barbara, I used to work the camp every year.
Where'd you play with Magic?
I played with Magic UCLA hundreds of times.
Isn't that crazy? He just oh yeah, by the way,
Johnson's my favorite athlete, and I just
and he's holding out on you. He's holding out on you.
I gotta save stories.
Come on.
Yeah, you do.
For next season.
We got big hopes for future here.
We got John Remy, Ghizal, Hasan here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350. Can we transition to some baseball chatter a little bit?
Sure.
Ghizal's the voice of UCR baseball, and so many local guys. We saw Ryan Lilly go in the draft this year.
Tri-City Valley Cats, by the way.
Is that where he's at?
His first start was he started off in the Gulf Coast League with the Marlins. So, for those who don't know, Ryan Lilly was the Friday starter for UC Riverside this year. Up and down because he was out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he did both,
but
right?
towards the end of the year, he was solid. And the key, I think, what scouts liked about him, he'd be pumping 95 to 97 in the first inning. And then in the seventh inning after 100 pitches, he was still sitting 93, 94. So scouts will say, okay,
Yeah.
And then... he was projected between about the third and the fifth round. He ended up going in the fifth because some guys, move. You move up and down, and it's about signability. And I think they knew he was going to sign, so they signed him out of the fifth round with the Marlins. But started off with Gulf Coast. He just made his second start with the Tri-City, which is in the New York Penn League, which is the short season A ball for the Marlins. First start, pretty good. They hit him up a little bit in the second start, but I know he's going to bounce back, and he's loving it. He's loving the experience of being a professional baseball player.
He's been on the show. It's been well documented. He was the catcher out of Vista Marietta, turned pitcher with Troy Percival.
Catcher, yes.
So he's
Mini Percival.
That's what Percival did, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he came on the show and said, I said, well, of course you have a Troy Percival autograph, right? He's like, no. It's like everyone on the team gives him a hard time of being like little mini Troy Percival. Yeah,
they do. They razz him a little bit. But great teammate. The story I want to tell about Lilly, so we kind of knew by about April, because the scouts are at every game, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to be drafted. And at that point, he's a Friday starter. And the team, suffered. April was a rough month for the baseball team. But what was interesting was, as Pep mentioned, he was a catcher at Vista, and he was a catcher his freshman year before they converted him to the pitching mound. But did you know because Casey Worden, who is the main catcher, got hurt and he missed the second half of the year, so the Highlanders were down to two catchers, Brandon Williams and Tony Godinho, that Ryan would go to the bullpen and be the bullpen catcher when they needed a bullpen catcher.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was joking
Team
with him
guy,
about it.
right?
Yeah, and he said, "Hey, I just don't want to give it up, because he still had his catcher's mitt." And said, "Oh, this is my catcher's mitt, and I need to use it." But yeah, all about the team. He could have easily said, "You know what? No, I'm going to start next Friday. I'm not going to worry." No, he would volunteer to go and catch, because those are all his guys too. They all, Morton and all those guys.
Yeah.
They all came to the
like
school with
Southwestern
him.
League guys from that area. Yeah.
Gudinho down from San Diego. And it was interesting. He would get his choice of who he would throw to, and he always picked Tony Gudinho to throw to. And I remembered, they were catchers together. They did all the same drills, so they're probably just buds going way back.
Yeah.
And nothing against any other catcher on the team, but he's going to go with the guy he trusts.
Yeah, he's got the rapport with that guy. Ghizal, give us some optimism going into next season for the Highlanders, because they've got IE guys on the team, which that's what we love, like guys like Ryan Lilly.
I think if you were to get Troy Percival on the coaching staff, and I haven't talked to Troy recently, but I did talk to Bryson LeBlanc a little bit, they would all tell you this season was a little bit of a disappointment. April was a big stumbling block for them. They're about 10 games under in April. If they can manage to go 500 in April, they might have a little bit of a different scenario. But the Big West was tough this year. They got 2 teams into the Super Regional. Fullerton and Long Beach had to play each other. As a different story in and of itself. But I do think there's reason for optimism with the young guys coming back next year. We saw Connor Cannon develop a lot this year. We saw Kate Peters have a pretty good year. They're gonna have to figure out a way to replace Contreras in center field. Mark Contreras, who's a Canyon Springs guy, he was drafted 9th round, senior signed by the Twins. He's playing for their rookie league team in Elizabethtown, and he's hitting about 320. What's interesting is early in the season, he got a late start because their season starts in really early June. He wasn't out of school till the middle of June.
Oh, okay.
So he missed about 7 or 8 games, and after the first 3 or 4 games, he was hitting about 200. And then he went on this streak where he raised his average from 200 to about 370, and he's down to around 320. But he's playing center field for them. He's driving in runs, extra bases and whatnot, so he's got a pretty decent future there with Minnesota. Got to replace him in center field. They get Colby Schultz back, which is a bit of a surprise because he was a junior eligible to be drafted. He had a redshirt year, so they thought maybe he would get picked. But he's going to come back, so maybe he'll play a little center, maybe he'll play a little shortstop. But they're going to have to replace the left side of the infield. They're going to have to bulk up a little bit on the pitching side. But I think there's good reason for optimism. Got that big booming bat of Connor Cannon coming back. And you got
big dude.
Some experienced guys, Jared Morton, Gudinho, Cody Sporer, who are all leaders in the clubhouse and whatnot. I think that's, as you know, with baseball, it's very important.
Absolutely. Hey, we're running out of time, but real quick, you're also the voice of Riverside TV for high school football.
That indeed I am. Guilty as charged.
There's a resemblance of a schedule out there floating around.
We haven't finalized the schedule.
Yet,
we haven't finalized the schedule yet. They're going to finalize the schedule. Got a lot of teams. You probably know more because you've been at the passing league. I really haven't. But a lot of coaching changes. I guess we're going to talk about those next segment. Some old faces in new places, some new faces in old places, how that works. And then some of the guys, your guy Fazio is no longer coaching.
He's not in the game at all.
He may join us on a couple of, we talked about this. He may join us and do a couple games.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So Riverside TV has their game of the week. You said there's even like a Thursday game.
We're gonna have
Saturday game.
Probably Friday, but they're gonna throw a couple of Thursdays, maybe a Saturday in there at some point, and then hopefully, like last year, we'll get a bunch of playoff games because we had a great run with the playoffs. With Notre Dame, we had a King playoff game.
King made a run.
Yeah. And we had a lot of Riverside teams that made the playoffs. Norte Vista, Def and I called the Novi game. The victory over St. Paul that propelled them into the final against San Gorgonio. So it should be fun. Yeah, we're looking forward to that coming up. Inland IE football, we know how good it is, and I think the country is starting to figure it out. Centennials in the national polls every year. I think we're going to try to get Centennial on this year as well.
They're really good. They're loaded once again. They're number 3 in the CIF Southern Section Division 1 rankings. I mean, it's preseason stuff. It's based on the last 2 years, but they're just behind Mater Dei and Bosco.
And can I say, it's always a pleasure. We got John Jiggy Maxwell here. We got the regular.
Are you still Facebook Live? Are you still doing?
Yeah, we're Pep.
Oh, okay.
We got Pep.
We got express written consent for that.
I get paid for all this stuff.
We got John Remy here, but this is like being on one of those DJ Khaled productions. You never know who's going to show up. You got T-Pain over here. You got Snoop Dogg over here. You got Rihanna over in the corner.
Then who's Maxwell?
It's always a fun. That's. John Jiggy Shug Maxwell. Yeah.
When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350, a live update from the West Regional Little League going on in San Bernardino right now, and also a little bit with Shareece Wright, defensive back for the Buffalo Bills, formerly of Colton High School, just had its big camp yesterday. Greg's old stomping grounds.
Greg is actually the man of Colton. But everyone else is secondary. Greg
Yellow
Hollow.
Jackets, stand up, yo.
The golden age of Yellow Jacket football. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
I won't make you, baby.
What in the world is going on up in here? Am I the only one listening to this? Man, destroying a classic.
Till the fight starts up. Don't stop till they get enough. Keep on. Till the fight starts up. Don't stop till they get enough. Boom!
That is a good question. What is going on today? It's been a weird, wacky show, Jeff.
We have everybody is here.
Man, Valley View football leading hundreds of chicken McNuggets, and the hallway's been packed with great broadcasting talent. It's just been wacky.
Wild, wacky stuff. Man.
Hey, you got a special guest. Why didn't you tell me about this, Jeff?
Coach Hogg is in the house.
Coach Phillips from Heritage High School just rolled in.
How's it going, guys?
How are you doing?
Awesome.
Heritage is going to be good this year, aren't they?
We're looking forward to another great season. We got some pretty decent kids out there, a lot of returners. Lost a few good guys on defense, but a lot of good people coming back.
They don't rebuild at Heritage. They reload.
Oh, man, they're always good. We got Coach Phillips here in the house as well from Heritage High School. In just a couple minutes, we're going to have a live update from the Little League West Regional here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports, IE 1350, brought to you by Spoiled, quick quality oil change, Ken's Sporting Goods, and Boost Performance Training. But, yeah, seriously, Heritage, I mean, year in and year out, like the sun coming up in the east, Centennial's going to be good. Heritage is going to be good. You can just count on it.
You can never bet against Coach Broach, and yet every year I do, and every year I fail miserably.
I don't know why you do it.
I don't know. I like the high-powered offenses. And, Paloma Valley in their league.
Jeff, it's about defense.
Gorham
it's
not that. It's nothing to do strategically. Gorham likes to be outlandish.
Yeah.
He picked Ramona to win last year.
Yeah.
And he knew it made sense. Like, I'm a Ramona alum. People think. No. He knew. He was just being outlandish.
I ruined my job.
He knew nobody was going to win.
Menifee Bowl.
I ruined my job at Norta Vista. People are throwing tomatoes at me down the hallway because I didn't even pick. I'm not picking Novi this year.
You pick football like you play basketball. High scoring and fast.
Yes.
You like it nice and sleek. Like
my offense.
Lonzo Ball. Yeah.
My offense is defense. I mean, you score more points, that's your defense.
Yeah.
Outscore me.
That definitely feeds into our fire and stuff. People like that, the haters, I guess, is what the kids.
Jeff's a hater. He's salty. Yeah, you're salty, Jeff. You're a hater.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's awesome seeing you guys on the sidelines. So it's always fun to have you guys out, and we're a pretty good bunch out there. The coaching staff out there is really great. Of course, one of the hot topics is Tello going over to Paloma.
Yeah,
DC is.
He said he's still your boy, right? Even though he's across the street.
He's an awesome guy, great guy, real laid back, real fun though. He's gonna make some huge improvements over there on that defensive end. Offense, they're leaving alone. Defense, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
That's kind of like Schembeck. They're leaving Woody Hayes' staff to go to Michigan.
It is. It's exactly
Heritage,
the same thing.
Heritage Paloma. It's like
that's huge rivalry. Yeah. That's huge.
Oh, hold on, Bev. You can't call it a rivalry until they win a game. You can't call it a rivalry.
He's right. Coach Phillips is right. Truth be told,
it's a little hot in here, Pep. Let me get under the shade. Let me get into the shade.
A lot of shade in here today. Heritage has never lost. I say this since dinosaurs walked the earth. Heritage has never lost a game in the Sun Belt League. That includes all those Menifee Bowls against Paloma Valley.
35-0 in league, yes, sir.
So
maybe this year, though. Come on, Paloma.
Are you going Paloma?
I'm going Paloma again. I will say this. I cover a lot. I'm able to cover a lot of those games within the sports, and I will say this. I do like going to Heritage the best.
Why?
It's 2 minutes from my house.
Okay.
But all the coaches, every time I go on, the people are yelling and screaming. They're really, really cool to me. I'm able to walk the sidelines without getting beaten up. Even though I picked Paloma, everybody's really cool over there. They got the best fans. It's awesome.
Like Jeff Gorham's got the Lee Corso Rosetta Stone going in the car because he's just going to the Lee Corso school of. But I mean, it's working.
Yeah, it is.
It works.
I'm telling you.
You don't walk out with like a big Paloma Valley like Wildcat mascot head on.
No, and last year I'd walk out and they go, "Look, it's one of the Step Brothers." I was always
you were embraced.
Well.
You were embraced
down there. I was embraced. Everybody loves the Inland Sports Show over there.
And Coach Phillips, you guys have a tough non-league schedule. Refresh my memory, but I know Rev is in there. I think Great Oak's in there.
Yeah.
Wait, who else is in there?
It's Olu from Orange County.
Orange. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
And then we have another team from the High Desert. I can't recall right off the top of my head, but definitely looking at a pretty tough non-league schedule.
And that's the way Coach Broach likes to do it, right?
Yeah, definitely. We were hoping for a centennial. That didn't happen for us, unfortunately. I think we need a few more steps to get in there with those guys. But
oh my gosh,
I can't say that we would compete, but I think it'd be a great game. I think Paloma's going to be a tough one this year. Honestly, I think it's going to be a great game.
You guys are buddies with Logan.
Yeah,
let's get him in here. Let's make this happen.
Man, I would pay money to see that. I would say, I'm not working tonight, guys. I'm going to pay. I'm going to grab a ticket. I'm going to watch it like everybody else.
That'd be a good one.
Man, Heritage Centennial, I'd love to see that happen. Tell Coach Broach, keep working on it.
Yeah,
Logan's our boy.
I don't know that we're at that level yet, but definitely I think it'd be a competitive.
Well, we just broke some news that Valley View High School scheduled Centennial for next year.
Yeah, man, they got some great kids there. Big kids, fast, hard-hitting, definitely good kids. Definitely.
I'm curious if Coach Phillips has a Coach Broach impersonation, because we have the Coach Broach face up on the wall here in the very luxurious Inland Sports studio. So if you have one, we can grab it down and you can do one for us.
Not so much an impersonation, but definitely he has definitely impressed me. That was my opportunity. That's my first coaching job that I ever had, and he is definitely a very solid guy. Real nice, real laid back. Doesn't holler, doesn't yell, doesn't scream. When he gets upset, he'll throw his hat down or he'll throw his glasses off and he'll tell everybody, just go home. Just go home.
I like that stuff.
You know, everybody kind of rallies around him and, no, we're not going home. Let's work through this, but great coaching staff there. His dad's on staff, he's just a great guy all around.
Well, you guys got such a great thing going. Like, it's one of those things that I know it's cliche. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Sir.
You got. There's the recipes there. It's already in place.
If it ain't broach.
If it
ain't broach. Yes, sir.
There it is.
Hashtag. If it ain't broach. If it ain't broach, don't fix it.
We do have a new DC already, though. Adam Contreras. He actually played for Coach Broach Sr., I believe, at somewhere in Escondido.
Okay,
when
yeah.
He was the coach back then, so good guy, young. He was on the staff last year helping out. So he looks to fill some really big shoes, and hopefully I think he can get it done. He's
Yeah, because Coach Tello was great, right? I mean, that Heritage
amazing.
defense was insane.
Amazing. A lot of people looked at us and laughed, why do you guys run that kind of defense, whatever it is, and it just worked.
It's in the proof. Proof is in the pudding,
That's
right?
We had the guys to run what we were doing, and it worked for us.
Well, I remember last year, full disclosure, we love Redlands East Valley. We have Rev on the show. And a couple people in the Redlands area, because that's where I live, would say, I've heard of this Heritage team. I don't know much about them. I think Rev's going to just blow them out. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Just because you haven't heard of these guys, I'm like, what was it, like 15-7? Like, it was a slobber knocker, low-scoring, physical battle.
Yeah, I think it ended up like 13-12. It was something.
Yeah, it was a battle for Middle Earth. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you say slobber knocker?
Oh, yeah. Slobber knocker and battle for... Hey, if it ain't broach, don't fix it, right?
If it ain't broach! Yeah, definitely. James Phillips, I believe was his name. Great kid out there, super fast. Really had us running around trying to block him. Offensive.
He's at UCLA now and
great
stud,
kid.
yeah.
Great kid. Went around and hugged everybody, shook everybody's hands. Standout kid.
Great competitor, lots of character.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Coach Bruick does a great job out there with a lot of his kids, like Jalen Phillips, who's a stud, also a good person as well. So
yeah, they had a great team last season, and we play them again, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
they're a great team,
and that's at your place.
Yeah, we're home this year with them. Yeah, so it'll be fun.
Well, Coach Phillips, we appreciate the time. It was a nice surprise. Jeff never talks to me, man. We're like a separated couple. Like, he only talks to me when he has to.
Yeah, and I said, Coach Hogg is at the doorway. And he was like, what?
I was like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah. So, it was a nice surprise to have him show up.
Yeah, it was. Well, thank you. Best of luck at Heritage this season, man. It's good seeing you.
It's great being here, and anytime you guys want to talk Heritage football or anything else, I'm always around for you.
Yeah, because Coach Broach, man, it's like pulling teeth. I mean, he'll do it, but he doesn't really like the interview media stuff.
Yeah, he's a real laid back.
He is, and
himself. Yeah,
I get that. And it's totally cool. Yeah. It's totally cool. That's why we got the mask. I'll talk for him.
Talk for him, yes, sir.
Good to see you, Coach Phillips.
Great.
Hey, quick reminder, if you go to the Inland Sports channel right now, we have an exclusive interview with Shareece Wright, Buffalo Bills defensive back, the pride, outside of Greg, of Colton High School, the golden age of Yellow Jacket football. Go to it, our exclusive interview with Shareece Wright. Go check that out. The camp yesterday was awesome, 250 kids strong. It was even though you didn't have to buy to get in, it was everything was free, but it was a sellout. Yep, full capacity. So it was very awesome to see a guy coming back to his hometown and putting it on in a big way. So big ups to Shareece Wright out there. Ghizal, it's great to see you. We're excited for another season of Riverside TV.
Riverside football, great to see you guys.
Are you gonna saddle up with this guy?
We're gonna get Jeff on for a few games. I love it. I know he's got work to do with you. He's really in demand now.
He is. Like, you guys call me. You're like, can we still Jeff for tonight? I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean,
I'm a utility ball player.
You are. You're the Jose Oquindo of 80s baseball.
You're like the pipeline. You got him. We got Fazio. But listen. Priority is Inland Sports, but I know you want them to get exposure. You want your guys to get exposure.
We got tons of interns too. I mean, Cullen. We're gonna get Cullen involved. We got guys.
You're like Belichick. You're like Belichick. You got the coaching tree going.
The coaching tree. We're gonna take over the Inland Empire first in the world. That's the plan. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. You'll be spoiled. I say this over and over, but it's the truth. Excellent customer service. Great prices right off Alessandro Boulevard. If you go to Heritage or Paloma Valley, you drive right past it. You can go get your oil.
The great Bill Navigado. Respect.
Feliz Navidado, as Ghizal always likes to say. Kin Sporting Goods, they got those awesome, sweet helmets. I want to be a helmet model for Kin Sporting Goods sometime soon.
I'm going to be a cup model.
You could do it, Jeff. They'll get you the size small for you, right?
Extra schmedium.
Phantom House Studio, best sports edits in the business, and Boost Performance training athletes of all levels, from youth, college, high school, the pros. They all go to Boost. Right now they're in Hawaii training up some high school teams out there for football. But Ray Bass does it all. Football, baseball, lacrosse, any athlete.
Lacrosse?
He'll hook it all the way up.
Get out of here.
Big thanks to the Valley View Eagles, Ghizal, Hasan, John Remy, Coach Phillips from Heritage High School,
and John Maxwell, who was silent but deadly today.
The great John Jiggy Maxwell.
Oh, my goodness.
We got to get him to tell some Lambeer stories at some point.
He does have a lot of Bill Lambeer stories from his Shock days.
Oh, Detroit Shock, WNBA. Man, what a great show. A lot of funny stuff. If it ain't broach, don't fix it. Saturday, 11 a.m. The Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, IE 1350 a.m.
That's going to do it for all of us here at Channel 4 News. You stay calm.